Hello everyone, and welcome to another No Logic race. It's the A Link to the Past Randomizer No Logic Tournament 2022. And we have a great race for everyone. Doomtap versus Bread-Kun. And if you are new to No Logic, that means the items can be filled anywhere in the game. So there is no algorithm to where they are placed. So we're allowed to use major glitches to find them all. And our runners can use overworld, out-of-bounds clips, underworld clips, and things a little bit more complicated than that as well. Door glitches, Ancilla mislotting, and our runners are off. So they are both starting at Link's house, and they find a small key to Misery Mire. In this mode, we like to play with key sanity. All dungeon items are randomized. And that will make dungeon navigation a little bit easier. So Bread-Kun is going for an immediate fake flipper to get to the whirlpool, and that is placing him in the north part of the world. So Bread-Kun is going for what we affectionately call Tam Swam, which is a kind of slope swimming, and we'll see where he gets to. In the meantime, Doomtap already performed an overworld glitch, and a funny auto walk thing to get to Hylia Island. And there we go, Bread-Kun makes it to the back of Escape without the use of gloves. And the big key of Dark Palace, that is it's a strong big key. It's one that we want. And that's not just because it can open pods. It's because it can open doors in Cave State, which is a great way to navigate and unlock doors in this mode. And meanwhile, Doomtap will be doing a clear of the Lost Woods. Next up for Bread-Kun is a fake flipper to Hobo. This one's oftentimes an early check, thanks to being next to Link's house. There we go. A bottle is in the Lost Woods. This is a good find for Doomtap. Bottles are very important because they allow us to do Yuhara's bottle adventure. YBAs have a variety of uses in dungeons, and oftentimes in the overworld as well. Going for another, as I like to call it. So this is a shortcut to Ice Rod Cave. Doomtap farming up from the bonk rocks to get bombs for Kakariko. It can take a few attempts. It's a bit finicky. We haven't really optimized this yet. It's an exciting glitch. It's one of the newest found, thanks to Brahmini, who learned how to swim this year. And it was pretty impressive to find a new major glitch like this in 2022. Alright. Blind's Hut for Doomtap. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun makes it to Ice Rod Cave. We find a sword for Doomtap. And just a map of Misery Mire for Bread, which is a pretty good map to have. And Bread-Kun started a fake flip, a water walk. And it's off to the waterfall. Doomtap continues, finds a small key to Ganon's tower. A lot of small keys I won't really think too much about because small keys are not especially useful. They are useful a little bit, but there are always ways around them. But they do help early on in helping decide what to clear and how much of certain areas you can clear. Doomtap buying bombs. Bombs are especially important in this mode. They're not just used for their normal uses. They're used for bomb jukes. They're used to defeat enemies, while weapons are totally randomized. And we might not have what we want early on. And our runners are continuing overworld glitching to search out areas that are adjacent. And desert is often early because it's right next to Kakariko. So we'll probably see a dungeon dive for Doom. Doomtap hovering over the fairy releases it. That's good. And death warps are pretty common, so good to release that before you forget. And we have big magic from the Igor. Suppose this means the arrow pack is our magic pack. Alright, Doomtap's taking a little damage, setting up a death warp, and that's because Doomtap will be trapped in the right side of desert in a second if he gets this glitch done correctly. The only problem is he has 1/2 of a heart and needs to take damage to set up the glitch. So, what are we gonna do? Well, let's farm to see if we get a heart. Well, that's convenient. The very first lever has a heart. So, Doomtap just needs to buffer 1 pixel to the left and left of the pot setup, and on a certain pixel, and this transition is broken, so we can skip a subtile here, kind of make Link skip over a whole super tile. Picks up a heart and an arrow. Not especially worthwhile. The refill also means that we cannot set up the death warp anymore. Or rather, the setup is ruined. Gotta save and quit out. Alright, South Shore for Doomtap. Meanwhile, Bread is doing a Kakariko check. Both runners have found the Hyrule Castle small key at Sick Kid, so no one is leaving Sick Kid behind due to a late bottle or anything like that. Nothing very important is there anyway. Bread-Kun goes for the heart piece that's on the ledge of the library shelf. Doomtap throws a bomb that bounces into a pit. And that's Mini Moldarm Cave. My question is, will we clear King's Doom as well? A glove is found. So Doomtap has a glove now. And yeah, Doomtap is setting up a bomb juke. And this will allow Link to juke a transition. And we can hit it from the opposite side. And that allows us to scroll a whole tile up to King's Tomb. Nothing's there. That's okay. We can still leave. And when we exit a single entrance cave exit, it returns us to where we entered. It's rather than in King's Tomb, let's say. All the single entrance caves and houses are connected on one map. All the dungeons and multi-entrance caves are on a separate map. All right, Bread-Kun is also setting up the quadrant glitch. It's funny to see everyone use the Beamos statue. For a long while, I used the screen above this one, where I would place a bomb at the bottom edge of the tile, and would normally require 2 bombs, and it was a bit slow to set up. But the Beamos one is a lot faster. So Bread-Kun gets that heart piece, and that arrow does not get a refill, interestingly. Maybe that's because of the library heart piece. I don't remember which one was a refill. Oh, but he had a fairy, of course. All right, so some mishaps for both runners. Understandable. All right, Doomtap is in Hyrule Castle. And nothing here yet. An interesting check, as nothing is especially compelling about this right now. There may be some incentives to come here, but I don't know of any. Regardless, Hammer is here, so that's a win. Hammer is not always essential. In fact, it's never really essential in a no logic race, but it can be quite helpful to have early. So this is a nice advantage. If Doomtap did not have the Palace of Darkness big key, then the Hyrule Castle big key would be a pretty strong key to have here. But it is not especially useful. Actually, I am mistaken. Because Bread-Kun has the Palace of Darkness key, and Doomtap doesn't. So this was a good play for Doom for that reason. And so the hammer is just a bonus. So for Doom, it's nice to have both of these items, the Hyrule Castle big key and the hammer, which we did not expect. Meanwhile, a South Shore check for Bread-Kun. And another Palace of Darkness key for Doomtap. Those 6 keys are not especially helpful, especially because we always approach pod in cave state. So we never need small keys there. All right, Doom has good gloves, and so Lack of Escape is an easy next check. And funny enough, Doom will get the Palace of Darkness big key, which is not really helpful. It can be helpful for inter-dungeon travel. Maybe from darkness to Hera, or darkness to Hera to Meyer. Anyway, Doomtap's on the way through the sewers, and we'll be finding the Dark Cross item soon. What's next for Bread-Kun? Bread is starting from Sanctuary. Oh, are we changing our minds? Yes. Where will we go next? Starting at Link's house. Doomtap is in Dark Cross. Just a compass. Have we seen Sahasrahla yet? I wonder if this could be a potion shop plus Sahasrahla, or maybe just a potion shop. We'll find out. All right, a Death Mountain ascent for Doomtap. Doom has the gloves, but why not make a few leaps to get into Old Man Cave? I don't know. Not sure if that's a time saver. But if I were Doom, I would do the same thing because it's such a habit to approach Death Mountain like that. And yeah, with 4 hearts and blue mail, it's quite nice to get past these dead rocks without fear. Bread-Kun learns that the green pendant is at Hera. And the bow is at Sahasrahla. Always nice to find an Eastern Palace item at Sahas. We can't really put that to use yet without a big key. There's no good way through the dungeon without a big key or a way to unlock that door. All right, will it be a Death Mountain clear for Doomtap? Most likely. And then Bread is following suit. We find a mirror in Spectacle Rock Cave. So this is a hover opportunity. Doom is a very consistent hoverer. And easy. Interesting. Doomtap's going for a fall. And why is that? Maybe it's because he wants to go to Palace of Darkness? Spectacle Rock is a common way into that dungeon. Yeah, so Doomtap's setting up a teleport. And these dungeons are not really adjacent, but they do allow you to travel from the bottom of the map to the top of the map with a map wrap. And when that happens, all sprites are despawned, but we can still open things up in darkness. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun is going for King's Tomb. I thought Bread was already here. The Big Key of Misery Mire. Okay, I was wrong. And Bread got the Big Key, or the item. I forgot which item was in King's Tomb. I think Doom just got the Big Key to Mire. Alright, the next play for Bread is Graveyard Ledge, another good one to go for early, just because it's there. Runners can potentially put this off, and that is high value. That is one of the fire rods. There are 2 fire rods placed in the seed, and 2 ice rods as well, and this is part of the tournament mode, double rods, that is. And that helps prevent any potential soft locks that could occur if we are determined to kill Trinex and there's a rod on Trinex or something along those lines. And it also helps create an interesting opportunity for both runners to find different solutions to the seed where it can potentially reduce the chances that one runner misses the needle in the haystack. And Doomtap is going for right side pod immediately and goes for bufferless mimic clip. This is tough to do. I'm sure viewers are familiar with this as it is a competitive rando glitch. It's a minor glitch as well. And Doom is going for select buffers to wrap it up. Yeah, this is an interesting decision from Doom to clear Palace of Darkness while having loaded the dungeon. I mentioned before we can open up key doors in cave state. But Doom reloaded the dungeon, and so it's no longer in cave state. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun is doing East Death Mountain and finds the Quake Medallion. And it turns out the clouds in Hyrule are made of water, and so Link can splash through and leap over the ledges and land on the floating island. They have a quirky collision. Doomtap having fun in the Beetle Arena. Everything is bouncing around wildly. Not quite sure what the routing decision is here. Okay. I don't know. Alright, let's bounce the mini Helmosaurs off of Hammer Bridge too, why not? And Bread finds a small key to Agadim's tower. That's nice, it's all we need to clear that tower. We normally do not climb it. There's almost no reason to do that. Except for in some rare cases that have to do with Swamp Palace. So, Bread-Kun has the lamp now, found in Paradox. That's quite nice. And lamp is especially useful for mislotting to set up a high search index. And we'll see if that comes into play later. The big key of Eastern is at the big chest of Palace of Darkness. That's pretty nice. And Doom does remember that he has that big key, so clearing this dungeon is not a big deal. In fact, he probably started with so many small keys that it was a calculated decision to come in here and clear every chest in the dungeon state. It just is, it might take a couple loops through. Bread-Kun sees the mirror and is going for that, thankfully not missing that after East Death Mountain. And Krellbell in chat is asking about the Swamp Palace dupe, and that is something that you can do by reversing the dungeon idea of Castle Tower. And when the ID is reversed, it is changed to Swamp Palace, and we can pick up the Swamp Palace prize. We do not need to defeat Aghanim at all to answer the question. In fact, that would cause... I haven't seen it happen, but I've heard that Tam has almost defeated Aghanim by accident, just dealing with a clip and reflecting attacks at the same time. Meanwhile, Doomtap is going to Helmosaur King, and we are using statue drag, which is an amazing way to juke transitions. I should have pointed it out, but it's pretty fun to pull an invisible statue to take Link through doors. And through some door glitch magic, is able to fight Helmasaur. And Doomtap has armed spin speed and can go for hammer hits with an extended or displaced hammer hitbox, and no problem. Helma is down. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun is going for the cave state clear of Pod, at least the front of Pod. Oh, we see a pendant at Turtle Rock for Doom. That's interesting. And I believe that was Crystal, Mire, and Ice, if I'm not mistaken. So, all right. Well, with a mirror transition, Doom's next play is Eastern Palace. And of course, since Turtle Rock is a pendant, we don't need Fire Rod and Ice Rod. This seed might be more about finding a sword upgrade. It might be about finding navigation items. We'll see what it has in store for us. Yeah, so this is quite an interesting situation. It's pretty good in terms of clearing the front items for Doom, but he doesn't have the bow that Bread-Kun has. So if Bread mirrors at the end of this search, it could be a full Eastern clear. Let's see the rupee basement for Bread. I didn't watch Doom, but I assume he farmed rupees here. And it's always nice to have rupees in No Logic because we oftentimes need to use a lot of potions late in the game, or even throughout, just to go from dungeon to dungeon or try some overworld navigation without the Moon Pearl. Meanwhile, Doomtap finds the Master Sword at the compass chest of Eastern Palace. That is quite interesting because if Bread-Kun finds that, that is approaching Go mode. With 2 bottles, Mirror of Fire Source, and Master Sword, potentially. But I didn't see. Okay, Bread-Kun's not in real Dark World yet, so we didn't see any dungeon checks, anything on the Dark World map yet. Until Bread does a mirror transition or portal transition, the world state is still Light World because we started from Spectacle Rock Cave for both players. And I did not see, thank you Malmo, I did not see that Hera and Eastern are pendants. So that tells us everything we need to know about this seed, if that's the case. Meanwhile, Doomtap is leaving Eastern and is doing an upwards teleport and a camera correction to get to the potion shop. we have a Helma fight for Bread. Also doing the statue drag to get here. Oh, Bread has the bow, so this is pretty helpful. Very nice. Pretty interesting to see both runners having no offensive issues with Helma. Doomtap had the advantage of the hammer, and Bread had a bow to deal with him. Next for Doom is East Death Mountain, and Doom will see that Quake medallion and will get it, which is interesting. I would do this too. We don't really know what Meyer needs yet. Will be good to have that in case that is the medallion. Yeah. Okay, so what's going on with Bread-Kun's screen now? Bread is setting up a glitch we like to call turtle power. And this is going to be a kind of quadrant glitch. And Bread needs to clink off of a turtle on the midline of the super tile. And in this case, it is the line that bisects the room left and right. So Bread noticed that the camera was not unlocked. And that's part of the goal here, is to show an unlocked camera, because that's how we know that the quadrant glitch is active, that the transitions are bugged. It's a clink. If we got the lineup, then we should be good. I didn't see any extra movement there, so that should be a good buffer. Meanwhile, Doomtap finds his lamp. And so Bread has an interesting situation. The transitions involved in this glitch. So the camera's unlocked, basically, and we can scroll the mimics off screen to defeat them, which is kind of funny. All right, so with the broken transition, we have access to Hookshot Cave. So we are seeing a pod-colored Hookshot Cave. That is until we transition. Now, Bread is standing still. What will he do next? And there's no sprite collision, so we can go right past the Baris. Meanwhile, Doomtap is searching Super Bunny Cave, just finds money. And Bread is going for hovers. So, well done. First try hover. Just a piece of heart. Get to line up for a bonk. Okay, what's next for Doomtap? We see in his equipped item a red potion. So that will be used to get to Thieves Town with a YBA. This will simply skip a subtile and put Link in Cave State Thieves. Okay, well, nothing in Hookshot Cave, unfortunately. But Bread can use this opportunity to go to Super Bunny Cave, and it's a little bit faster for him since he's in the light world still. Again, since we came from Spectacle Rock Cave and have not transitioned. And that's going to be it for that play. Doomtap finds the ether medallion in the big chest of Thieves Town, which is significant if that is important. It'll be interesting to see what Bread does. We may see Hyrule Castle clear before Thieves Town, but that's not guaranteed. Meanwhile, Doomtap is pausing, not sure what he wants to do. Probably just thinking about the best way to route this, what to do safely, and yeah, it's a pretty safe bet to reload Thieves Town after unlocking all the necessary doors, which are the doors to Blind Cell and the main door at the front. So Doomtap is good to reload the dungeon. And he's just leaving, doing the 3 overworld checks for now. Hopefully he does not leave the screen, otherwise we won't be able to open the door later if we came back as a bunny or something like that. But we'll probably see Doom go back into Thieves Town. Leaving Bombable Hut is interesting, but if Doom is going to return in that direction later, then waiting for it doesn't make sense. So that seems fine. Might not be worth the dashes down and up, but I don't know. Alright, so we have a return to the eastern area, Eastern Palace for Bread-Kun, and this is, again, pretty interesting. Oh, I didn't realize that Big Key of Ganon's tower is here. That's one of those cave state keys as well, but again, we already have a bunch of those. It's not that necessary. Yeah, Eastern will be interesting because Bread will find a sword upgrade here, and then we'll be approaching Go Mode. Probably will not call Go Mode. There will probably still be a lot more checks to make, and Bread still needs to know what Turtle Rock is. Yeah, it's way too early to stop opening chests. It's just sort of theoretical at this point. Oh, Bread goes for a right hand bow clear of the Stolfos room. That's pretty interesting to see arrow shots in 4 directions. It takes 3 shots to clear that room from that position. Okay, Doomtap destroying the Gibos in the Hellway. Nice to get rid of them, I guess. Yeah, and Twin asks, isn't Doom in no-go mode? I think so. I guess the lamp was the most recent item. But I would say that again, it is a little bit too technical a call. Doom is setting up a bomb clip, and this will take him to desert, but for some reason you didn't get it. That's a bit surprising, but the important thing is that Doom got the bomb and no longer has to go into the attic. So that tile is directly above the Desert Palace Big Key. So I'm a little curious why he'd want to go that way. Perhaps to open the big chest. And if he had another YBA in mind, he could continue to the back of Desert. That would be an option. But yeah, definitely a good play to sort of attempt. Oh, well, maybe Doom will just do it. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here. So one of the things I love about no logic is I'm never sure what a runner is going to do. Everyone can be creative with their routes and come up with interesting dungeon routes. Okay, Doomtap gets the inputs correct and is now in desert. Bread defeats Armos and now has that prize. And I missed big chest, unfortunately. I guess that was the whole plan. Okay, Bread-Kun did a screen wrap on Death Mountain, is placing a mirror portal in a certain area. It's a misplaced mirror portal or offset mirror portal, and this places the portal in the Hyrule Castle courtyard. This is something we often see in overworld or hybrid major glitches. Logic. It is still used in this mode to check Pyramid Fairy, although there are other ways to clip into Pyramid Fairy as well. And yeah, a Death Warp maintains the portal position, and there it is, placed exactly where we can clip into the door. Oh, and thank you, Sirius Cord, for the note about Doomtap's plan that I missed. It was simply to unlock the key door to the desert. This is an important key door if we want access to Swamp Palace, to the back of Swamp and or Argus. So, good plan for Doomtap to have that key door open. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun can also search the pyramid and finds a blue potion. So, nice to have another bottle. And Bread has the same info that Doom has now, seeing that pendant of Turtle Rock. Alright, what's next for Doomtap? This is interesting. Doomtap is a bunny. Will it be a mirror wrap? Looks like it. Or will it be a blue YBA? That could be it. Issue is we have to take damage or use magic first. So it's an Aga Tower clear for Bread. Okay, Doomtap did a blue YBA. Or fake flute to 7, and can pull a statue or tree to become Link, and we can use this opportunity to do things. What do we want to do here, Doom? Meanwhile, Bread only finds a heart in Aga Tower, just junk, I believe. So Doom is using this Link State opportunity to do overworld checks, and we'll probably find some information about Meyer as well. Will be good to know if we can clear Meyer. Bread-Kun is spamming Y, and this will be to use a green potion that he has. And we got the lineup. Oh, it looks like it's a 4 digging game just for a skull key. I'm having slight difficulty with the YBA, but at least it's not drinking it. And did we get it? We did get it. Alright, Doomtap is on the Meyer overworld screen. This is an obnoxiously flashing screen because the rain graphics were not loaded correctly. This always happens when approaching from the side. Oh, right. Bread did not go into Hyrule Castle, so does not have the hammer, and so Bread did not get the big chest. Bread did not dash into the door. Easy to forget. We kind of need a key dash. Okay, Doom finds a small key to desert. So I'm not sure if that play was very advantageous at this point to unlock that key door. Okay, Doom gets the knowledge about desert and Hera being pendants. So we saw which medallion? Was it the Quake medallion? And so both runners have that from the floating islands, so it's not going to create a difference in the race, which is nice. Uh-oh, what's Doom got up his sleeve? He's doing overworld conveyor. This is a miss-slot. Doomtap is miss-slotting a bomb into slot 9. Slot 9 is one of the back slots, one of the slots where sparkles usually go to. In fact, is replacing a sparkle with a bomb. That's how miss-slotting works. And for some reason, the effect of a certain well-timed slot 9 bomb and taking damage results in an overworld conveyor. There are lots of little steps in there. And this is one of my favorite screens. A map-wrapped entrance to Lost Woods. We can hear the Lost Woods music, although it still appears to have graphics from the previous screen. Alright, Doomtap was going for pause buffers to spin on one of 2 specific sub-pixels, and gets the bonk, which is also not free, to bonk onto the big key wedge in Misery Mire. So this is a nice way to get to Cave State, Misery Mire. So this is a nice play for anyone who knows how to do this. Pretty nice to get here without Moon Pearl. Will be interesting to see if Doomtap goes for Vitreous. I don't know his potion situation, but it's a possibility. And we don't need Cane of Samaria to get to Vitreous. It could be a series of 2 YBAs. And Bread-Kun is set up for a YBA to Mire. Just below this entrance of desert is part of Mire. I believe we call it the X block. We don't normally see the collision in that dark room, but it is the Mire basement. Doom interestingly, does not set up the bomb clip here. And is only going to Meyer. So this common clip is takes us to Hera from Meyer. It looked to me like Doom did not get the oh yeah, right, of course. In cave state, you start with the big key chest, so there's no reason to move the torches, so we cannot do the bomb clip. So that's why Doom went immediately for the citrus clip. In fact, the dash citrus. And Doom is so good with sword buffers. He just quickly gets the hair to swamp clip. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun, continuing the search in Meyer, finds the ice rod, which is not very good in this seed, but hey, now we know there's one there. Okay, what is Doom doing next? Doomtap is setting up fake clippers, one of my favorite glitch names. Interesting. It is an older setup, and he gets it. No need for flippers on that screen. Yeah. Seeing a swamp palace clear is not often seen in the first hour of a seed. And we just can't access all of it all at once. Don't hover over save and quit. Why are we saving and quitting here? Okay, that's fine. So, it is fine though. Doom does not need to retrace his steps and go to the front of swamp. It certainly was an option, but he can now at this point, since it's unlocked from Hera, he can always return to swamp from Hera. But no, he can't because I don't think he's unlocked Hera, the upper portion of it. So, quite interesting to stop there. Oh, he can't retrace his steps because that would involve another fake flipper. And maybe just doesn't want to do that or cannot do it. I'm not totally sure. But regardless, that's not the play that Doom wants to make. Doom is doing something else. He's got the bow now and can go to Armos. Is that the play? Darius brings up a really interesting point about the compass chest of Swamp Palace. That room is set up to transition down and back up and go in a counterclockwise fashion, but it sounds like you can just walk left and mirror block a race if you're in a cave. That sounds pretty interesting. I never thought of that before. But I might be dreaming this or misinterpreting it. We'll find more items in Misery Mire for Bread-Kun. I got it right? Okay, good. Meanwhile, Doomtap going to the back of Eastern. And we'll collect the crystal here. Oh my gosh! The bomb was not set up quite right for Bread-Kun, and he takes a fall, which is a bit surprising. So, the bomb clip setup is one of the most accessible bomb clips in the game. Bomb clips are often a way to get into underworld clipping for the first time, and Meyer has a pretty straightforward setup, but for whatever reason, Bread-Kun missed it and was bounced into the hole, which for anyone who hasn't spent much time in this room, it can be surprising that these holes lead anywhere. Especially because they are colored pitch black. But, alright, second try, easy. And Bread can now clear Hera. There are 2 Turtle Rock small keys in the big chest room. That's pretty funny. I did not notice that. I wonder if that's all 4 Turtle Rock keys. I know we saw at least one before. Okay, so Bread-Kun is in what state? Desert? I don't really recall where we started. So I'm wondering if we can open this big key door. That's what he's going for. Yeah. So I guess I missed the desert big key setup, or Brad started from Thieves and I forgot. I'm not quite sure where we started. Or I didn't see whether Bread reloaded Meyer. I don't think so, though. Oh, I didn't see Doom return to Meyer. I missed this play entirely. So after finishing Eastern, it's oftentimes common to see a play for Meyer, which is a YBA from the Stalfos room. And I totally missed it, but that has to be what Doom did. Oh yeah, and thank you for the reminder to look at Brad's keys. The counter is all messed up, and that's a good indication that we're in cave state. Because when we enter cave state, we start essentially with 255 keys, and at that value, the key counter does not show up, which is what the game wants to do in caves. But when we start opening key doors, then it appears, basically. And yeah, and Tom reminds us that we call that the cave state mega route. In other words, a long series of dungeons strung together to unlock doors and search everything. And so yeah, it did start from Uncle to Thieves to Desert to Meyer to Hera. And it's funny how we can start in different areas and end in different areas as well. Doom went all the way to Swamp. I didn't really see where Bread's route terminated. Regardless, Bread did find powder, which I missed. So without hammer, it's easy to, well, it's still accessible. We can do an overworld glitch, screen wrap, a screen wrap transition. I don't remember what we wanted to call this, but it's an overworld hop that places Link on the wrong side of a transition, and Link can touch it from the opposite side and scroll way over to the right. And then for some reason there's just a little bit of swimming involved to leap into the Bat Cave. Now the big key of Hera is found. Not that important at this moment since Bread just unlocked Hera. But maybe it is convenient for some other reason. Doom returning to Hera. This is interesting. Wow, Bread has a lot of bottles. I didn't see all 4 bottles. That's pretty incredible. All right, so now it's time for Doomtap to do a similar kind of unlocking route. I thought Bread-Kun would go into Hera, but no. Moldorm is not that important at the moment. It just is a pendant. And it is common to see Moldorm defeated, even if it is a pendant. But Bread has another plan. And he's setting up a fake flute. Like we saw from Doom earlier on a different screen. Here we go. So fake flute places Link on a fake light world screen. And a transition helps the game realize we're still in Dark World and places us on the proper Dark World screen. Now, when Link lands from the bird as a bunny, he turns into Super Bunny. And like we saw from Doom before pulling a statue, he can turn into Link that way. And Bread is able to pull the Thieves' Town gate open to open the gate as well as turn into Link. The grabbing action does that for whatever reason. It's like that animation of grabbing skips a Moon Pearl check or something. Okay, Doom is going for Hera. And Bread is going to do a clear of Thieves' Town. We saw these as just part of the cave state route before. Oh, it's the green pendant too. I forgot about that part. So Moldorm is down for Doomtap. This can be good if Doom returns later in another dungeon state, because a prize of that other dungeon will drop. And that's the basic idea of duping crystals. And yeah, what's next for Doomtap? Maybe he wants to return the green pendant rather. Not quite sure. It's also an opportunity to grab more potions, perhaps? I'm not quite sure what Doomtap has in mind for the next play. I liked the attempt to fend off the archers with a rock, but it was not effective, unfortunately. Oh, Doomtap has the mushroom. I did not realize that. I guess... I don't know if Bread turned that in. Maybe I missed it. It's just 20 rupees, though. All right, a blind fight for Bread-Kun. And this is a scripted fight, but as it often happens in the third phase, it can go off script pretty easily. But Brad does not let Blind get away and defeats him in the middle of the room. So it's pretty interesting. Doomtap has not found the fire rod. This is an advantage for Bread-Kun to have that. That is an easy, well, it's still bunny navigation to get to Skull Woods, but it's not bad to beat Skull Woods, since all that's needed is the fire rod and a sword for starters. Okay, Doomtap is going into the well. This is a subtile YBA that takes us to what is often called Carpet Palace. I believe that it was coined by Arborelia, if I'm not mistaken. The patterns in this cave are pretty funny. So this is Ice Palace, and it's a pretty convenient way to get here. Interesting. Doom still getting information from his map. So, okay. So Doom does not have firepower. I thought he might have Bombos or something, but does not. Interesting. An Ice Palace play here could be pretty big. This could be interesting. Doomtap's thinking, though. He's not sure what he wants to do. So the Death Warp would indicate that he wanted to clear the dungeon, revive as Link, but he's not going to. There's something else that he wants to do. What might that be? And what's next for Bread-Kun? He's got a blue potion out, right? We had a blue potion a second ago, but now we don't. We have the mirror. Bread is in position to do the oldest known DMD, the mirror DMD on the bridge, which is a setup that involves, well, it's a mirror clip. And it involves placing Link just beyond the barrier, so Link can hop off. And there we go. And it's not really beyond the barrier, but it's beyond the point where Link gets mirror bonked. I'm not totally sure what you call that. But that's a DMD for Bread. If it works, it works. There are lots of ways to do DMDs. Okay, Doomtap is going to the east side of desert. You know what this means. It's a play for Swamp Palace. And this will take Doom to the back of Swamp. Okay, Doomtap is reconsidering once again. Okay. Let's go to Landmo instead. No, let's not. Doom is doing a lot of thinking here. And reconsidering. Meanwhile, this DMD was a play for Skull for Bread. So, like I mentioned before, Mothula is very accessible, is basically what I was trying to say, with Fire Rod and Sword in hand. Okay, Doom is getting a potion here. What he needed was 2 reds or a red and a blue, ideally. And I'm not really sure what he had, but he was not comfortable with what that was. And so it's just going to go with 2 reds. It always impresses me that Doom goes for citrus clips on left side slopes. For him, it's faster than doing 4 or 5 buffers, sword out buffers, dash buffers, that is. And that's quite impressive. We don't really see other runners do that too much, although I have seen it before. I just can't remember who does that. Anyway, Doom is now set up. He's gonna go for a double YBA here. He'll do 1 east YBA followed by a movement to the left by 6 or so pixels. I think it's 6 to 9 pixels, but it might be less than that. I'm not totally sure. Looks like Doom is curious how he's supposed to set up the visual cue here. I don't really know how he did that, because I always do a sword out cue. He moved to the left 6 pixels, I hope. So he gets the second YBA. That's good. Now what is he gonna do? There's a couple of ways about going about this. He can go straight to the right or peek to the left. He did the peek. That's good. This means that he'll be able to lock the camera in subtiles, and he'll be able to transition left, although not right. And that is totally okay. But Doom is thinking about what he needs to do, and he's forgetting a step. Because if he wants to go to the waterfall chest or beyond it, he needs to transition to turn the waterfall tiles into a doorway, basically. Okay, he does a transition. That's good. But for whatever reason, maybe the fact that he cannot do diver down, he is not doing diver down. That must be it. So he's going to push the statue to get those checks. And no, he's not. He's going to set up a YBA in this door. All right. This is going to be a spin YBA. It's going to be a spin mirror door specifically. And Doom needs to hold out his sword, do up and Y on the same frame, and he'll just need to release his sword here during this long buffer. We are going to see the graphics totally glitch out. They will be completely corrupted, but we will be able to see things move around. And there he goes. He gets the transition. And if you look closely, here we go. We are moving forward. We hear boss music, and the big blob is Argus. So Doomtap does not have the hook shot, but he doesn't need it. And that's because to get to phase 2, we just need to drag Argus off screen. And there we go, we're in phase 2. We are attacked by all the our guy all at once, but that's okay. As long as we don't die. I think they are doing 1 heart of damage to him each time. And there we go. Doomtap gets the boss kill, which is what he really wanted here. He also picks up the Pendant of Desert. And the graphics are completely glitched until a reset of the console, and now they are restored. All right, and I missed what Bread's play was, unfortunately. All my eyes and all of my words were on Doom. So let's see what's next for Bread-Kun. Bread wants more potions. And meanwhile, Doomtap is setting up a GT clip. So this is a bunny clip to simply screen wrap link to the entrance of Ganon's Tower. There it is. Very well done. Doomtap uses a method that's slightly different than others you often see, and it is at least as easy. It's just alternative, basically. I like it better, although I haven't really learned it. All right, a death warp will put Doomtap back into link state. Meanwhile, Bread is increasing bomb capacity up to 20. And this is pretty useful in no logic. Like I said, we want bombs. And so far in this seed, our runners have done a good job not running out of bombs. I missed where the mitts were for our runners, but it doesn't matter. They have them, and Ice Palace is available in this way. All right, so Doomtap clearing out GT, does not have hook shot, but that's not a problem. Doom should have the big key of Ganon's Tower, I hope, and it will be interesting to see whether Doom goes for upper GT. And Doom finds the magical boomerang in the EM room. And let's see what's in Ice Palace for Bread. Bread can clear Ice Palace, does have the Fire Rod, which Doom did not in his attempt to come to this area. Both runners' health, maximum HP has been pretty good. Pretty even. 12 hearts for Doom, 11 hearts for Bread. Their armor has been equivalent the whole race at blue mail. And there we go. The Cane of Samaria is at Randomizer room. That's pretty interesting because maybe Doomtap will use it to get to right side. Maybe. Unless he's happy with what he has. I don't think he's going to be happy, though. I think Doomtap wants wants a way to get into the back of Skullwoods that does not rely on he wants I think he wants Fire Rod, essentially. That, or he wants to hook push. What I was thinking was that he would not want to rely on double YBA to get to the back of Skullwoods from Swamp Palace. I don't think a lot of runners know that, and it's kind of cursed, because you have to do a bomb juke while avoiding a Wall Master. So that is not what we want to do. Instead, we want to find Hookshot or Fire Rod. All right, and I missed it. I'm sure Bread-Kun cleared out Skullwoods, but I didn't see any good items come out of it, unfortunately. Maybe the Mothula fight was during the Argus fight. I'm not totally sure. Doom is not continuing in GT. Doomtap getting shot by the archers again. Bread-Kun going for powder for a fairy. That's nice. Recover here. Krabba in chat has a good point that Hammer gave us easy access to Rando Room. So Doom was able to easily get those Rando Room items. Bread will most likely not get them, although it's still possible. Kind of depends how the seed plays out and whether he knows Super Tile YBA to get there, perhaps from the GT meetup room. I'm not really sure. All right, Bread does not have the hammer, and that makes this room a bit more annoying because how are we going to get past those pegs? Well, instead of doing that, let's do a spin YBA to get to Cold Stare. And this will be a blue spin YBA, which will place Link in an odd position in this room, because what it does is it creates holes, and then the holes will allow us to fall to Cold Stare. So we missed the Y input before, but that's good. We didn't. Okay, Bread gets it, so he gets the spin. Now he needs to do a particular set of inputs to get Link to be pushed into the hole, and he gets it. Oftentimes, runners will just go for a quick left-right to get the proper movement without freezing. Okay, we get there, and it's a little precarious, but we get the job done, and Cold Stare does not get away from Bread. So great job there. And that's a crystal. So Brad's doing pretty well here. I think it's go mode, although I don't know when Bread really called it, and he's still searching for chests. So maybe it's kind of that middle go mode where you just clear dungeons that you can do until you are forced to do the least desirable clears, basically. Okay, so swamp is a problem. Good point, JD. And so it'll be interesting to see how Bread deals with that. If Bread is not comfortable with a flipperless Swamp Palace, then he'll definitely want to find the flippers. And early on, I mentioned that we can use a dungeon ID swap by going from Agadim Tower State to Swamp, and that is performed through the sewer door to change the dungeon ID. Now, this is very interesting. Bread performed a setup to Blockbuster, which is a newly discovered glitch. Let's watch what happens here in Checkerboard Cave. So Bread is going to push a block, and it's going to cause a ghost block to move and push Link through the screen, but he does not get it. Meanwhile, I'm not sure what Doomtap has in mind. Doom probably wants to check the front chests of Swamp. I'm not sure how he's going to approach a flipperless Swamp either. gets the fake flipper, but how is he going to get through this door? The door being locked plus having no diver down ability is a big problem. So what he could do is steal a key from the left side. But I think he's just kind of thinking about what his options are. Maybe he'll come from another dungeon. It's just a little bit frustrating to be in this position, and I've been here before many times. Just because Swamp is such a pain to deal with if you don't have flippers. It is very confusing. So, yeah, it's too bad about the blockbuster for Bread. The setup is so it's such a new glitch that I don't know what's involved in the movement, and it takes a while to set up, so it's not something we see retried over and over. So Bread is not going for that after all. And if he did get it, it would just take him to hammer pegs. It is pretty interesting that Bread has not gone into the front of Hyrule Castle. It's just so low value at this point. We remember when Doomtap went into Hyrule Castle, it was specifically for the Cave State Big Key. And at that time, I forgot that he did not have the Pod Big Key. But he went for that and found the hammer on the way. Look at this. Doomtap is going for... oh no, he got 8 pixels in using 1 frames. Which is a very inefficient way to clip this slope. Doomtap is trying to remember how to deal with this, and how's it done? Well, this is how it's done. On one of these outlets here, you can just perform a mirror clip. And now is in Turtle Rock. Just needs to Death Warp to Dungeon Bunny Revive. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun did another blue YBA and is now checking Hype Cave. I don't remember if we saw this from Doomtap. I feel like his route should have ended here, but I don't know if it did. Okay, Doom is putting the cane to use. Can duplicate rupees. Why not? Just stock up a little bit. Bread-Kun finds a couple of big keys, but they're not especially useful at this point. The desert big key may be a little more useful. Yeah, Doom is still kind of figuring out the best way to navigate seeds. And he's on the newer side in terms of learning and playing No Logic, but his Link to the Past skills are unmatched in many ways. He does very well in glitched and non-glitched speedruns. Not non-glitched, but no major glitches. So the big key of Turtle Rock is in Turtle Rock. That's kind of interesting. That's pretty helpful. And that means that Doom could go to Trinex if he were desperate and if he had the Fire Rod, but he doesn't. In fact, the Fire Rod would let him get into go mode. Or at least would be one step closer. I still don't know how either player will deal with Swamp Palace. And Doom is going to take a shortcut and do another North STC. We saw that before to spoof the lava chest, make it appear on the big chest. Yeah, so this loads the dungeon ID of the one above into the room he's currently in. So when he transitions to the right, it will be the roller room. And he has to be especially careful. He does not want to fall off the ledge, which is a common pitfall. The fire rod and ice rod! That's hilarious. What a roller room. That's quite funny. It will be interesting to see if Doomtap wants to continue on. He could press the A button to open this chest, which might be useful. I don't know what's inside of it. But instead, he's thinking. In fact, uses the big key to open this door. And is continuing on. So he's going to do more item checks. But since he did the lava chest, I think it's in his mind that he cleared the big chest. But I don't think he did. Alright, more overworld for Bread. There's nothing at the digging game, we know that much. What could be next, then? Aha, mitts. So, we can get the frog here. We want to save the frog. We're not taking him back to his home, however. I wonder if we are going to Meyer Hut. Okay, that's the Moon Pearl for Doomtap. That's really good. But is it go mode? Doomtap still needs to figure out how to deal with Swamp Palace. Oh, is this Bread's first medallion check? I'm not... Yeah, so that's nice. Now Bread knows he can get into Meyer when he's ready to do that. Okay, so Doom's got the Moon Pearl now, and Maria is pretty good too. I think Doom still really wants... Okay, this makes sense. This will be a play for Skullwoods, because now he has the fire rod and a second ice rod. But yeah. Guards, help! Breb the Creeper is here. Brad on his way to return the smith. And Balmo asks, how did Bread pick up the smith? We rescued the smith using the mitts. And we got there with a blue YBA. Doomtap doing a funny hop in Meyer. That's always a funny one. I think I've seen that 2 days in a row now. Jumping from the upper level to the same level. Right? It's a shopping trip for Bread. It's pretty amazing that Bread has had enough money to buy potions throughout this seed, because he's been doing a lot of YBAs. Okay, so Doom's got Mire access. I thought he was going to Skullwoods, and I was wrong. I was not paying attention. So Doomtap throws a block into the void. This will set up what we call AD Spooky, or in other words, the spooky action glitch that we use in all dungeons speedruns. And meanwhile, it's time for another fake flute for Bread. Nice. Doom gets spooky too. That's the main room we need to do that glitch in. We'll see what Vitreous has for us. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun is avoiding a small key. Small keys are just not that important. Although they have been an issue for Doom in the seed. Okay, Doom earns the Crystal of Mire and a shovel from the fight. So, Bread is on Dark Death Mountain and has Link State. But what do we want to do with that state? He wants to go to the tower, but for some reason is hesitating. I don't know why. Regardless, that's gonna be the play. Right? He's flipped in, almost does not jump, but finally goes for it. So is Doomtap in go mode? It just depends on how they want to accomplish Swamp Palace. I don't know if Doomtap ever really learned Slipperless Swamp. So I feel that he's not in go mode. He's not in go mode. It just depends on his knowledge. And it's quite interesting from a commentator's perspective to not be able to call go mode in a randomizer race. So, meanwhile, Bread-Kun opens the middle door of GT. Okay, Doomtap's doing a mirror wrap, the well-known Ice Palace mirror wrap to get in the Ice Palace this time. And a different glitch to get in instead of going through the well. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun is using that GT middle door to do a bomb juke. This will help get to the left side and will be an easy DM room clear. Not super easy, really, but that'll be the first room he's able to deal with. Yeah, so I think Brad was probably thinking about how he wanted to approach GT when he was pausing. And for example, we can approach GT from hook I feel like I was going to say hook push cave, but I was thinking about hookshot cave, and it's possible to do a north YBA there to get into cave state GT, and from there we can search GT. It might be useful for him to do that. Okay, I missed the DM room clear, but it looks like he's looking at his item menu and did not get anything worthwhile, unfortunately. Yeah, what would be really useful is that hammer. Doomtap has a pretty big advantage at this point after finding the hammer that allowed him to find Samaria in Randomizer room, and clip to TR allowed him to... What was it? Was it Moon Pearl on Laser Bridge? Yeah, and that was done as a bunny, which is pretty interesting. Bread-Kun has been doing so many blue YBAs. It's kind of surprising that we haven't seen him go to TR. And that would be quite helpful because it just saves so much time to navigate the world as Link. Okay. Clear of Ice Palace for Doom. Didn't see if we saw Ice Tea Room for Doomtap, but that's okay. Probably. This is a tough seed for these runners. At 1 hour and 40 minutes. They don't have the hookshot, which would be so helpful. Or flippers, which would be key to a simple clear of Swamp Palace. Turtle Rock, also bad, as Malmo says. Without Kane or Big Key, it's tough to deal with it. So what's next for our runners? Bread-Kun going into Mire. This will most likely be a Vitreous kill if he can do the 2 YBAs required without the use of the Kane. Meanwhile, it's finally time for Mothula for Doomtap. I mentioned before that I didn't see these checks, but we know that Bread does not have any advantage from coming here early. One question I have is, what is that Zora today? I don't think we've seen that from either runner. Meanwhile, we haven't seen a full Light World clear from Bread. Since he does not have Hammer. And we know that is at the Boomerang chest, or was it the map chest? Regardless, it's in the front of Viral Castle. Alright, some spins and fire rod shots are good for a Mothula kill. So that is a Skull Woods crystal for Doomtap. So he's got all the crystals except for the Swamp Crystal. He's even defeated Argus. So for the goals of the race, he still needs to get that Swamp Crystal. Then he'll need to defeat Aghanim 2 and defeat Ganon. Meanwhile, Bread is thinking. He's not sure how to deal with this dungeon. I'm not sure what he wants to do. Oh, something else is happening. This is interesting. I'm not familiar with this. What is above here? Above here is pre-Vitreous, but we can't go to Vitreous like this. So, what could this do? Not sure. And could it be a spin YBA? I don't really know. Okay. All right, flipperless swamp for Doomtap. This could be go mode. I wasn't sure if Doomtap knew how to do a flipperless swamp, but he can definitely do this. If he knows how to do this, then he can do it, basically. It takes some practice to understand how this works. He's trying to get a fake clippers set up, but the corner of the wall and the corner of the stairs are pretty strange. What he's doing is he's holding left and hovering over the down input. And it's not really frame perfect, unless unless it is. Regardless, I don't know how to explain it. But he's slowly inching his way to the left, and this is a good thing. Now what he needs to do is actually the first step is to open the door, and he hasn't done that. Oh, never mind. He can do that with a key. Just kidding. Okay, we're all good. Yeah, but he just needed to carefully avoid damage there, and he was all set. It's time for another. I was surprised he went for 6 arrows. I thought after a fake flipper he would just need 3 arrows and 2 bombs. But I don't know. Now what is happening? I don't know. Why didn't we swim to the other room? Oh, of course. That is because we are duping this, and we are using this door to do it. That's all we need. Once we YBA here, then we are in Hera, and we can go to that boss room that I mentioned so long ago, and get some bumper skip. Okay, Bread-Kun finally made the play to Hyrule Castle and gets the hammer. He gets some rage slashes in. This is good for Bread, but it's Doomtap's race to lose at this point, showing that he did know a flipperless swamp method, and pulled it off quite nicely, even if it took a while to get started. So, in an interview, if Doomtap agrees, it'll be interesting to find out when he knew he was in go mode. Yeah. So, question in chat, is fake clippers a major glitch? Yes, it is a major glitch. And it depends on the application, about how hard each one is. And the one that Doomtap did is quite hard to learn. Meanwhile, Doomtap is at the pyramid, but there's no hole yet. And he hasn't defeated Aghanim 2. He does need to do that. Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, the one in particular, just to give an anecdotal impression of how difficult that clip was. I tried it for about an hour, trying to figure it out, maybe longer. Just going off of videos from P-Train and Yuzuhara, who came up with it. In fact, I don't know if that video is still around. But yeah, just trying it for an hour, I could not get it. But after I came back to the trick and tried it again, and after Tasho told me all I had to do is mash or hover, make a hover motion on the down input, then I realized it just took a lot of just kind of brute force, really. And I tried to overthink it as well. I tried menu buffers and couldn't figure it out. Okay. Fake flute for Bread-Kun. By the way, where is Doomtap going? I don't know what the plan is here. I think Doomtap is going for the quadrant glitch method to Aghanim 2. So what we're gonna see from Doomtap is, oh goodness, he does not have a key. Okay, so this is a kind of a funny situation. Doomtap knows one particular quadrant glitch. Yeah, one particular wrong warp to get to Aghanim 2. And his route to get there did not get him there. There are other common ways, including a lava dive. And the lava dive is achieved with a super tile YBA south into the lava chest room, or it can be done with a north Samaria, sort of in the T room here, the one below Pokebeast 2. But I'm not sure if Doomtap remembers how to do those. So what is going to be the plan here? I think he wants to do the South YBA, if he remembers. He might be looking things up. He might be trying to recall. Yep. The issue is this ought to be a red YBA, or it could be a blue. But he needs to lose some health here. But, yeah, so he will probably figure that out in this second. There you go. Okay. Meanwhile, Bread-Kun on the way through left side GT will find the cane, and with any luck, that will lead him to Turtle Rock for a Moon Pearl. Okay, if Doomtap got the YBA, then he's all good. I think any input will be the one he needs. Basically, up or down will both cause him to transition. I might be wrong, but if not, then he just wants down. I'm probably wrong. Yeah, so Doomtap is probably looking this up. And he gets it. He didn't want to mess it up, because with YBAs, it's a pain to mess up. Okay. Aghanim 2 for Doomtap. He's Rainbow Link. And we've got Rainbow Aghanim as well in this room. Nice, that looked like a 3-cycle. And he gets the Clipe out, saving time on the cutscene. And Bread-Kun finds the Cane of Samaria and immediately leaves Ganon's Tower. Will be interesting to see if he goes for Mire or maybe Turtle Rock. No, probably not Turtle Rock, really. He knows that's a pendant. Okay. Doomtap. Master Sword Silver's fight at Ganon will still take a lot of hits. What is it? 28 spins to get to phase 4. I think that's right. Oh, Bread-Kun is going into Ice Palace. That's interesting. I wonder if this is... Oh, no. Oh, he has 0 bombs. he's going to get another refill. And that also takes him up to 25 max. Is that it? Yes, we're on to phase 3 for Doomtap. So, the end is approaching. Tap gets a silverless hit, 2 silverless hits, and there's a first stun finally. Gets 2 shots in the Ganon. And gets a good stun for a double, and that's it. Ganon is defeated for Doomtap. Gets a dash into the cutscene. GG's to Doomtap. So that is all. We have a music switch over to Bread-Kun. In the race room, however, we have a forfeit. So that is it. That is the end of the race. And some chat from the runners. They agree that it was not a good seed. And we are joined by Doomtap. Congrats on the win. GG's.
Hey, checks. Thanks.
So, rough seed, 155 finish. So, what was go mode for you?
Go mode was definitely the Pearl. I don't know how to do swamp with the... I don't know how to dupe the crystal through the sewer door, which is something I didn't expect to need to do. I normally do the hovering thing, but I didn't know how to get into swamp as Link.
One way you can get around that is simply to enter by way of Hera. But of course it wasn't that simple in your case since you ran out of keys to do that. But as soon as you exit the front of Swamp, you don't return to a bunny state unless you mirror.
Yeah, I think in hindsight I think I had an extra key in Misery Mire, so I could have brought that to Swamp and opened the door that was blocking me. But I was very scatterbrained. I had these ideas of what to do, and as I started doing them, I realized they wouldn't work. So
yeah,
yeah,
that is especially common when dealing with flipperless Swamp. And just like as recent as this year, I had this kind of situation where I don't have flippers and I don't have Moon Pearl. And doing that fake clippers setup in the first room without Moon Pearl is quite difficult. Well, not difficult, but tricky because you have to set up the dam flooding beforehand.
Yeah,
and it requires an extra fake flipper to get across that moat.
I didn't know if I was able to flood the the swamp and then get there with the equipment that I had.
Yeah.
So I didn't think I could fake flute there because I thought that would be. I thought I would screen transition and it wouldn't be flooded anymore, but I'm unsure.
Right, you can't fake flute there.
Yeah. Aside from the swamp stuff, I don't think I played overly well. I think I got lucky. Because it looks like my opponent didn't know how to deal with this either. And I beat my head against the wall until I got through, I guess.
Yeah. There was a key moment at the very, very beginning, which is that Bread-Kun opened with Tam Swam. It was a slope swim to get into back of escape, which had the pod big key. And what that means is there was no incentive to go to the front of escape and get the Hyrule Castle big key because he already had a cave state big key.
And that's where I got the hammer, wasn't it?
Yeah. In fact,
Yeah.
Bread-Kun just got the hammer a little bit before your Aghanim 2 or something around that time. And we are joined by Bread-Kun, GG, Rough Seed.
This is
GG's.
very rough to the point where I'm sitting there trying to just make stuff up on the fly of, oh god, I hope this works. Please let this work.
Right. Do you know about the double YBA to go from Meyer to Aghanim's Tower to Vitreous?
I don't. I vaguely heard of it, and I was desperately flipping through and searching the Discord for anything regarding YBAs. I'm just running in the walls, just desperately searching. Please, please, someone tell me where this is. I know it's possible. I just don't actually know it.
Yeah, sorry. That is such a pain to get through, since there's so much we've accumulated, and in terms of glitch knowledge, and no good way to organize like the most common methods over the others. Well, at least we don't have that at this point. But regardless, it could be a two YBAs sequence, a red green to the left in that hourglass room, and then a spin YBA from Aghanim's Tower, and that takes you to Vitreous directly.
Okay. That makes sense.
I intended on doing that, but I didn't bring the proper equipment to get there, and I thought I had it.
Yeah. That's smart. And also, you know, because it's never come up, I didn't know Meyer reclosed itself. I didn't know that was a thing. I've literally never had to leave Meyer and then reopen it with a medallion.
Oh, yeah.
That's news to me.
I thought, for a second I thought you meant that you opened Meyer using the medallion 2 times. But
well, I opened it once and it just reclosed itself.
After the first time? Wow, I don't know how that's possible.
Because I remember I walked in with Quake, and that's when I was trying to make up a YBA on the fly. Is when I opened it.
I was also surprised that.
Well, actually, never mind. I know it happened because the soft lock or it crashed and I reset. That's why I was reclosed. I just didn't think about that. I didn't save, so never mind.
Oh, okay. You didn't. When was it? Sorry, when was it that you didn't save?
It was when my game locked up when I tried to make up a YBA and Meyer, trying to get to Vidi, and the game crashed, and so I reset, and I
missed that one. Huh. Okay.
And it just didn't occur to me that obviously I didn't save after opening the door because the game crashed. So I couldn't.
Yeah. How much progress did you lose? I didn't catch that.
No, it was nothing. It was me just trying to get to Vidi, that's all. I didn't really lose anything. Other than the time it took to walk into Mire, but at that point it was a desperation play, honestly.
Okay, so I did see you in that room. I didn't know that that there was a crash there. Okay, interesting. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, there you go. I was just telling Doom that hammer was pretty significant. And you didn't have the incentive to go to the front of Escape because of your early play for back of Escape, which got you the pod key, a cave state big key.
Yeah. You let me just route in everything and basically ignore Escape. When I ended up routing in like Pyramid Fairy stuff into Aga Tower, I was tempted to walk into Escape. I'm like, no, I've got plenty of other stuff to do and dungeons to clear. I'll just leave it.
I was also thinking that neither of you went to Zora. Is that the case?
That's
I
correct.
checked the ledge. I didn't actually talk to Zora himself, especially because of that Moon Pearl. And I was spending God knows how much money throughout the seed on
Yeah.
potions. I didn't want to drop the 500 on him.
For sure. And one last observation. One last observation for Doomtap was I believe you missed the big chest of Turtle Rock. And I
I
think
didn't
that's
have the key initially. I opened it when I went to kill Aga 2. I had opened it.
Oh, when you went to Aga 2.
Yeah, I didn't have
Gotcha.
the key when I got there the first time. I don't think
Yeah.
I did. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh wait, the key was in the dungeon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't. I forgot.
So there you go. You got the lava chest on that screen instead.
I wasn't familiar with how to do the lava dive. I only knew how to do the other wrong
Right.
warp at the entrance, and I had to look it
Yeah.
up how to do it on the fly.
Yeah. Yeah. And at the very end, you do a down input, right? I think you can do an upward input too, but
Not sure. I pressed down, I
totally-
think.
Yeah. So that was a safe play once you got that YBA. So there you go. I would also recommend checking out the Samaria from the tea room, the door south of Double Pokies.
Yeah. I think I've seen
Yeah.
it before, but I'd forgotten.
Yeah, you just do a North Samaria in there, and you just walk through the door after, and you're good. It's actually probably the easiest lava dive.
That sounds very easy.
It is extremely easy. You walk through the door, then you walk back down, and poof, you're an Aga. Woo.
And any other comments about the seed from you guys?
I think this is the most difficult seed that I've finished. Usually when it gets this tough, I just quit. Especially if I'm offline or whatever. I just quit and go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was so unfriendly.
It's a very unfriendly seed. Honestly, after I got Samaria, I had everything to beat the seed. I could do Mire, I could just Clippers in the swamp and just dupe it, and then just Death Hole Argus after, however long all that takes.
Yeah. Yeah, and the fake Clippers is a pain, but it is the faster way to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't. Did Doom find Hookshot?
No.
I had no.
Doom did the
no
fake
idea where
Clippers
it
as well.
could be.
All right, well, thanks for the race. That was a lot of fun to watch and commentate. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks so much for watching. And we will be back tomorrow with more No Logic. So thanks everyone for watching and have a good one.
We'll see you later.
See ya.